Nova Scotia's Bruce and Alex Gandy are famous in the piping and drumming world, and almost certainly the most successful father and son in competitive piping history. Bruce Gandy has won just about every big solo piping prize, including both Highland Society of London gold medals, the Bradach Gorham at London twice, the Senior Pibroch at the Argyllshire Gathering, and everything there is to win in North America, several times each. A popular composer, judge, and teacher, he's been a full-time professional piper for many years. Alex Gandy is the pipe major of the Grade 1 78th Highlanders, Halifax Citadel, and is also one of the world's most successful solo pipers. He's won myriad big prizes, including the Silver Star former winners MSR at the Northern Meeting twice, all the A-grade light music events at the Argyllshire Gathering, and the North American Solo Piping Championship at Maxville, Ontario, 3 times. In 2010, Bruce Gandy launched the Bruce Gandy Bagpiping Development Society, a charitable program that would award monetary grants to deserving pipers who might need a leg up to help them attend workshops, summer camps, or lessons. With an aim of raising a large ongoing scholarship endowment, what began as a small cause has grown during the last 13 years. Now, with an eye to the future, the name has been changed simply to the Gandy Bagpiping Foundation, and Alex Gandy will coordinate more of the efforts to build and publicize the program so that even more needy pipers will apply for and receive funds. Too often, piping judges and teachers claim they're, quote, giving back to the art, even though they readily accept and even demand payment for anything they do. Bruce and Alex Gandy are great examples of truly and literally giving back. Pipes Drums recently caught up with both of them for this exclusive conversation about the Gandy Bagpiping Foundation and the need for more financial support to help grow the art for all who wish to improve. Okay, it's Pipes Drums, and it's March 31st, 2023, and we're really happy to have Alex Gandy and Bruce Gandy with us. They're coming to us from Halifax, Nova Scotia, their homes, and we thought we'd talk about a little bit of news around the Bruce Gandy Foundation, some changes there. So maybe start with you, Bruce, because you founded the foundation a number of years ago. But what's the latest with the Bruce Gandy Foundation?
Well, the short and quick of it, Andrew, is that it was called originally the Bruce Gandy Bagpiping Development Society, which was what we came up with when we registered it with the CRA. You cannot have a foundation in Canada legally until you have a certain cash flow and safety net and all that sort of stuff in there. Your website can say foundation. You can call a website whatever you like. So years of building and increasing fundraising and getting to a better place, I was really keen to get my first name out of there as well, because I've got a Bruce Gandy Music, and it's not about me, it's about the foundation itself. And Alex is taking a bigger step now, involved in this with a lot of the fundraising and understanding all the initiatives that we're looking at, which is great for all of us, and Beverly helps as well. So we thought it should just be the Gandy Bagpiping Foundation. So it was the matter of raising money, getting to a spot, and then clearing that with the government of Canada, and a simple, more streamlined name, really. And bagpiping, I was sort of wanted it bagpiping because it's about playing, where if it said bagpipe, I still felt that might look like we're selling pipes or something like that, like a bagpipe shop. And that was really the only wording that we had a little bit of discussion with, trying to figure out what it was. But it was Gandy and it was Foundation, and we just felt the instrument had to be in there as well. So
Okay.
it's saying that that's a new chapter for us now.
Yeah, that makes sense, obviously. We're hearing from around various other organizations that maybe pipers and drummers aren't really applying for grants and things for funding, scholarships, which you would think would be the opposite post-COVID. But are you seeing that? Are people applying for money?
It's pretty interesting to me that we've spoken to you before. The response we had when we ran the competition was really, really great. But when we put notices out about we're trying to give money away, it's like we're pulling teeth sometimes. It's like we just want to help you learn. And it's, for me personally, I've been really fortunate in my entire piping career to always have top tier tuition. Like I've never been sent to, the wrong band where you find out you're learning something totally incorrectly. Like I've had a pretty awesome pedigree of teaching. So I feel obligated to give back through this. And it would be really awesome if we had a hard time deciding who to give money to, because I mean, nothing is on sale at the minute, with inflation around the world, and the amount of top tier tuition that is available through schools or online sessions or anything is, I mean, the numbers, like the number of it, there's so many different options, and we with their guidelines, we still, generally have to support within Canada, but it's still there are a lot of people that I think either maybe aren't aware or think, oh, I won't get picked for that. It's like, you might. Please apply.
Hmm. Yeah, it kind of comes to mind also that a couple of weeks ago we put together an opinion piece on talking about the money involved these days to be a piper, a drummer in a competition level sort of interest, where it's kind of become an art form or a hobby for the upper middle class or the wealthy even to be able to sustain it at the kind of level, certainly outside of the UK and maybe inside the UK too. Do you think there are actually fewer pipers out there who are looking for financial assistance?
I think as far as the general, skill level pyramid runs, maybe the people that are, I mean, I'm sure I wouldn't consider myself upper middle class, but I think being aware of what it is going to cost each year for me, like I know, like as soon as I'm home in September, I start putting money aside for the next trip, because it's like, well, Scotland's not going to get any cheaper. But as far as people learning, I think there's quite a disparity between the haves and have-nots when you look at a grade 5 or a grade 4 band, or the just the I guess the income or the perceived ability to afford different things. Because I mean, I know for us, sometimes we've seen people that are, quite talented, but they stop piping because they can't, they know enough to know that they're not getting better where they are, but they can't afford to make the jump. So I feel it's maybe it's a pride thing. Like, you know, we pipers are a proud bunch for sure, um, but we've set it up to help, so that to try and enable everybody to have a fair shot. Like when I'm explaining it to people at work, it's like, if there's a kid, especially in Cole Harbor, home to Sidney Crosby, if there's a kid that's going to be a really stellar hockey player, people will find the money to make sure that kid gets the right gear and gets the right coaching. And I would love to be able to be a part of someone's piping journey. Like, this kid's going to be the next so and so, and being able to say, well, I'm so happy we were able to help them.
So on that note, maybe this comes to mind that raw beginners getting into it, would the Gandy Bagpiping Foundation, would it be open to really first year players, even for families that are maybe looking at it as not realizing quite how expensive it is, but they want to stay with it? Would you be open to those sorts of applications?
Absolutely. While it's great to help someone on their journey because they go a long way, it's always been part of the mission is to help deserving pipers, not necessarily the best, but the deserving ones. Um, and we're putting together some initiatives right now. One of them is in some of these local areas to help the grade 5s, either with their first competition entries or their membership to Atlantic Canada or PPBSO for their first year, to help them in there. And Alex talks a good point there, and you see it at all walks, where in our area, we have people that are able to sort of manage it. And they're clever at getting the help, which is quite the reason they're fluent. But there's some people who really can't afford it, but they want it, and they're out there working hard to find that money, whether it's through a Canadian government funding thing or the Gandy Foundation. They look for these things. So it's confusing that they don't know, and it's probably maybe we need more press out there to let them know. I mean, we don't have thousands and thousands and thousands, but we've got enough to help some people, and that will help to bring us ourselves into raising more money too. Because like Alex, I'm happy as can be, and there's nobody happier than Beverly Gandy when she writes a check and a little letter to send someone, and she feels like Mrs. Santa sending those away to the people, and it's great because she feels really good about helping someone along and their way. And so yes, we're open to raw beginners, first, second, third years, depending on all of the initiatives. I'm trying to get into the schools like Pete's doing in Hamilton right now, and if that becomes the case, well, I suspect if it's needed, for sure the charity will be there to help support. I mean, we need kids playing across the country for sure. And if it becomes a financial reason, I've always, I would borrow from Scott McCauley and say, just get him in play and we'll find out how to pay for it later.
Yeah, that's a good philosophy. It's I think it probably a really smart way to approach it. And on that note, what are some of the things that the foundation has coming up? You're going to be doing more of an outreach program, to let people know, to encourage them to apply, or some other things that are coming up with the foundation?
Yeah, we're hopefully, well, not hopefully, we are going to be running another online contest, similarly structured to what we did before. We haven't finalized the parameters, but last time we did hornpipe and 2 jigs, and it had to be 1 Canadian tune, 1 modern tune, and 1 of your own choice, and whatever sort of variety that you wanted. And we had 8 judges, which was really great, and we had really great prizes sponsored by McCallum. So every judge donated their time. McCallum donated prizes, so it was a great listen for one, being one of the judges, and it was really good for building press and raising a little bit of money. We are also working, and I'll let Dad talk about this more, but a formal detailed scholarship in memory of Abigail Cabra. So that's going to be coming out, and we'll do sort of I'd say a more detailed announcement on it as far as what that scholarship is going to cover, because we received fairly substantial funding from people wanting to donate in her name. So we're going to make sure that the scholarship is not just a regular one either.
Oh, that's nice. It's really thoughtful. Yeah, and Abigail was the young piper who lost her life in the military helicopter crash in Atlantic, Canada. It's a very sad situation, along with several other people. Well, listen, you guys are doing some really meaningful things for piping. I think the piping world appreciates it. I think you see the bigger picture, certainly evidenced by the change in name and looking towards for the future, and maybe also reaching out to some raw beginners of any sort of capability, and encouraging people to apply for the funding that they might put to good use and take that leap to the next step. So Alex Gandy, Bruce Gandy, two of the greatest exponents of the art we have going, but also doing some of the greatest stuff in the name of piping. Really appreciate it, and good luck.
Thanks very much,
Thank
Andrew,
you.
for bringing us on, and hoping people take note. I better say this right, that it's the Gandy Foundation, GandyBagpipeFoundation.org.
All right.
Is the site. If
Good
it's not,
stuff.
we'll correct it on the written part. It's just been changed. That's why we've, the new domain and everything. So we're flipping around with the names and stuff. So hopefully I have that right. People they can just look up Gandy Foundation, and I'm sure good old Google will find it for you. And lots of big news for fundraisers coming up, a big program coming up, and of course the Abigail Scholarship is going to be a bit of a special one this year. as well as several other scholarships, awards, call them as they come, as we are able to help.
That's
So
great.
it's great.
Well, good luck with everything, and by all means, keep us posted and we'll stay tuned.
Thanks a lot,
Thanks,
Andrew.
Andrew.
All right, thanks, guys.